All right, you guys, we have something very important to talk about. So watch these next few clips and let's get into it.
Everyone should be terrified by AI at this point.
Come sharking with me, y'all. The ninjas is outside. Ooh, y'all, look at him.
What's up?
He is so fine, y'all.
Hey, where you from?
These niggas think this shit like...
Last week, AI videos took over timelines on X, flooded with black AI influencer videos. And it's really scary and unsettling because of the implications of what can be done with videos like this, especially in the hands of anyone that has malicious intent against an individual or community in the very near future.
I genuinely don't know why everybody is saying that. I'm a human being just like you guys.
You better buy a leash if you don't want him here no more because he's always running to me. Bye, boo.
Literally showing AI in the hood or in these ratchet situations, basically propagate negative images of black people.
People, it's Ricky the Robber back for another video. Today we got some crazy shit. I'm outside this rich kid's party and y'all already know we about to rob this little motherfucker. Let's go.
See what Tony Stark got for that little bitch Steven. Shit, Amazon say 2-day shipping for a PS5, but I'm taking this hoe in 2 seconds.
Holy shit, I just got chased down by the security guards. The kid came back into the house and saw me stealing his shit. I only got a PS5 and one shoe. That boy gonna be walking like a broken Roomba. Can't believe that boy ruined the robbery. Always remember peace, love, and probable cause. Ricky the Robber out.
I know I already talked about the sickening effects of AI when I brought up the AI being used to impersonate soldiers, veterans, etc., who were involved with the bombing of Iran. I talked about how their oorah mentality or depiction and their quoting of Bible verses in every single one is a form of brainwashing, essentially, of propaganda that is creating a narrative and affecting the people who are least likely to recognize that they were AI in the first place. And even if they do, I mean, it's just art, right? So I want to talk about just art in America and why it is so damaging. And just so you know, this is happening to everybody. This is other races having this treatment being done to them. But because I'm Black, I want to specifically talk about the consequences that will be happening to my community. So when I see this, the first thing that comes to my mind are minstrel shows, where you have white people dressed in blackface pulling out caricatures that they create when it comes to the depiction of Black people. It was not only extremely racist and damaging, it was extremely influential. We still feel the impacts of that today. It's still felt today. We may not notice it's being felt today if you're not Black, but it's still felt today. The impacts still go on. It was very influential to the white Americans. It was very influential to Europeans. But it was influential everywhere. I mean, Disney had it in Fantasia. The Birth of the Nation voted so high somehow on Rotten Tomatoes. Showed in the White House. You know, there's so many depictions of these characters. And when Black people wanted to enter the industry, they had to compete with those depictions. And not just that, their only access to the industry were those depictions. They weren't even allowed on stage unless they also were in blackface too. Also portraying mammies or whatever the case may be. Also portraying, oh, yeah, miss characters, right? That was the only access they had. And it was worth doing for money in order to take care of your family, in order to try to get your foot in the door, to hopefully make a difference down the line, to be able to pass on that ability to get through the door, right? And what I'm seeing right now is an industry, because a lot of the industry that where Black people were most successful to be able to get their foot into the door when it comes to wealth has been entertainment, has been speaking, has been able to formulate ideas and art in different ways to express who we are as a people. And so to directly combat that, we now have a flooding of our faces, of our bodies being mammified, being sexualized, being criminalized. And we can barely tell. We have to investigate. The fact that we have to sit and investigate and say that's AI after only a few years of this technology developing, imagine what's going to happen to our children. You know, we can try and protect them, keep them away from social media until they're 13, keep them away from social media until they're 20, you know, They might watch YouTube in the kids section, but it's still AI made by somebody, right? If it ends up there. But what if it ends up on PBS? What if it ends up just on TV, an AI made show with AI made characters, and it looks like people? Those are not real people. And yes, there's a line between art and not art, but what matters is the impact it's going to have on our communities. It matters. It matters not only because that depiction goes places, but because we will have to compete with those depictions, to where the only way we can quickly get through the door, because we have ways in, sure, but we know how this goes. There's competition. We know what the people want. The people want bop, 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 bop. People want ooh la la, you know. That's the only way you're going to make it, because this is what they want. This is what the algorithm enjoys. And so you have to fit the role to get through the door. That's what's going to end up happening. That's what's happening right now. That's what's going to start happening right now. Once this floods out, people who may not have a stance where they're like, I refuse to do that kind of thing. I refuse to go to that level. Or maybe I need this access. I need this opportunity. They're likely to fill those roles. And that will even further make it more difficult to say, hey, that's not what we're like. We don't want this. Because they're going to say, hey, it's not just AI. These real people are doing it too. But this is the climate we are creating. And it matters because it's not just white people. It's not just white people who are going to see this. The world sees American media. The world sees everything that we do. They watch us. So when we say for example, why is the relationship between Asian Americans and Black people so tense? Why is the relationship between Africans and African Americans occasionally just confused in terms of what's appropriate? Why is the relationship when it comes to Black people and Hispanic people so tense? And they have their tiered colorism the same way we had our tiered colorism. Why are those things happening? Why is there that tension? And that's because of this narrative of whiteness, this narrative of appropriateness, this narrative of doing it the right way, and the perception, because white people have a very good perception. And even when someone steps out of the line, white people don't, unless it's times like right now that's happening when there's this nationalist movement, white people don't typically cling to each other the way other people of color do, in the sense where if a Black person goes out and does something wrong and it hits national TV, we think to ourselves, please don't be one of us. And when it is, God damn it, what have you done, right? White people don't have that same knee-jerk reaction because they don't feel accountable for their neighbor in the same way. They may care for their neighbor, they may take care of each other, they may try and uplift their communities, but they don't see it the same way. If a white person goes out and kills a grocery store worth of people, they don't think to themselves, oh no, why did they have to be white? Because they don't feel that affliction that happens when it comes to perception, when it comes to race. Black people have felt this burden throughout time. And right now, it matters more than ever that we have the control of our voices. And that's why this is happening, because they know what is so powerful about our voices. They know what our voices have done throughout time. The whole reason minstrel shows and all the rest of that stopped is because we used our voices and we used our art and we used our vote and our protest to push that away. We conducted our own movement of civil rights for ourselves. And that's why they attack specifically that. Our image, our voice, our perception when it goes to the other worlds. Because a lot of other cultures outside of our own will be looking at our media and gauging for themselves who they can trust, who they want to be associated with. If they immigrate here, they gauge for themselves who we are. And we deal with the consequences, because if they get here and they don't like us, not because they interacted with us, but because of what they've seen, that's just one other hurdle to equality. That's just one more struggle for us to deal with through time, over and over again, through history. This is why things don't get fixed, because we don't have control over our narrative, our voice, because propaganda and lies are so strong. And it's all in the guise of, oh, it's not that bad, it's just a joke, it's just this. No, it cannot go this way. We cannot let this happen. I know we say let's protest. We have a lot of ways we can protest. If we need to get off social media, I mean, think about this. We're trendsetters. And I mean, everybody, social media speakers, us out here, we're the trendsetters. If we want to get off social media and get back in the streets and have the block parties, get together, create foundations, boys and girls clubs, areas where people can come together, these community centers where the people get offline and come together, we're the ones who decide it's going to happen. We make it happen. But that's what we have to do if we're going to defund, if we're going to take the power back to us. We need to stick them where it hurts. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.